Hey, I'm Ronnie. Let's look at this house. Today we're looking at a house in Lexington, South Carolina. This is 316 Red Globe Trail, Lexington, zip code 29072. 3 beds, 2.5 baths, huge bonus room. I actually love the floor plan. I can't wait for you guys to see this one. It's a little over 2,400 square feet. Key feature here is that we're in the neighborhood of Summer Orchard. This is so close to I-20. So if your daily commute, whether if that's for work or for school, entails you getting on I-20, we are less than 5 minutes from the interstate, which is super, super convenient. Give you an idea of the street really quick. Cul-de-sac ends right down here. So this is, again, Red Globe. The cul-de-sac ends there, and then you go up the road here. There's a stop sign not too far up. You make a left, another left, and you head towards the entrance of the neighborhood. This is not a huge neighborhood, in my opinion. There is building still going on in here, so there is some new construction as well. But in terms of developments, I don't feel like this is one of those overwhelming ones, which is really, really nice. I might have already said it, but this house is priced at $312,900. The HOA in here is about $350 a year, I believe, from my notes. That's what I'm seeing. Let's go ahead and walk in here. We get the door closed. So like I was saying earlier, I really like this floor plan. You have the primary on the main level. All the other bedrooms are upstairs. Obviously, there are the stairs leading to that upstairs area I was talking about. But let's go ahead and walk into the main level, because that's a really, really important feature of this house because of the way it's laid out, in my opinion. I love how this kind of breaks up here. You have to go down this hallway that's kind of angled in order for this entire thing to open up to the living room, the kitchen area, dining area. A lot of times with the open concepts, what I see is you open up the front door and boom, you're looking at the entire house. I love how that hallway kind of creates this little, closed off area before you come into the openness. So let's look at the kitchen first. Kitchen is a really good size. I love all the counter space. Definitely my favorite feature here are the grayish cabinets, and I really like this kind of, I don't know what you would call these. Maybe you call them gold. I would lean more towards gold than a bronze. I love that hardware. I think it's really, really pops with the gray. Obviously you have a gas range. And then over here you have what looks to me to be one of the more fancier refrigerators. I don't have one like this. I would say that this is a fancy refrigerator. So that's a really nice feature of this home. But again, lots of countertops here. Take a look at the granite coming around, just continues. And then you have this kind of bar area as well. Really, really nice. Cabinets, quite a few, good storage in this home. Right off of here is, I believe, nope, this is the coat closet off of the kitchen. And then this is the pantry. So you do have a pantry area, which is a nice size as well. Good amount of shelves. Yes, you could definitely add another shelf up here as well, but great amount of storage in that pantry. And then again, it's right off of the kitchen area, which is really, really convenient. So where I'm standing, you can see that there's a light in the ceiling there. This is where you would put your dining table in this area. It's a really good size. I like how it kind of breaks up the flow. So you'd have your dining area here, and then this obviously opens up to the living area, which is also a really good size room. Lots of natural light in this house, which I appreciate. Go to this back corner here. Give you a shot of everything. You of course have what looks to be LVP flooring throughout the main level. It's in really good shape. The interior is in really good shape. I know this is a recently built house. I don't have my notes in front of me, so I don't know what year, but I have to imagine within the past year or two. So again, really nice floor plan, very, very clean. This over here opens up into the primary bedroom, good size as well. Sometimes with the new developments, the builders, they'll make these bedrooms a little too small in my opinion, but not this one. This is a really good size. You can definitely get a California king bed against that wall, some big nightstands, really, really good size bedroom. Opens up there to the full bath, which I'll show you in a minute, and a walk-in closet. Let's go ahead and take a look over here. So there is that flooring from the main living area that continues in the bathroom. It's a nice feature. You do have 2 sinks, really pretty granite countertop, and then that gray cabinet color continues in the bathrooms as well. Big mirror. Then coming into the bathroom, across from the vanity, you have a really nice sized large tub. Big old window. You'd probably want to close those blinds. And then you have, of course, a walk-in shower here as well. Coming down to the end, you do have a walk-in closet. Good amount of shelving. And then this obviously comes around here so you can see this side as well. Good sized closet. And then in this door here, across from the shower, you have your water closet, which is again the fancy way of saying toilet room. And so you do have a water closet in this primary. The water closet thing is very common here. I've had people move here from all over the country that I've helped, and some of them aren't used to that, but it is a very common feature here in South Carolina. There's a shot of the living room again. I'll show you the backyard at the end. I do want to show you the upstairs. And some other features before we go to the backyard. So coming down the hallway again, right here is a powder room. It's a nice size for guests. And then you have a pedestal sink right here. I do like how this is off of the kind of the walkway here and not necessarily in the living area. So it gives some additional privacy. There's, of course, the front of the house again. But then right across from the powder room, you have this garage. This is your perfect example of a newer construction garage that actually is a decent size. Sometimes these are too small. This is a good sized garage. 2 cars, obviously. You could probably get some storage racks in here if you wanted. Maybe do the ones I've talked about in my other videos where you do the racks on the ceiling. I have those in my house. I highly recommend them. But this again is a really good size 2-car garage. Can definitely get 2 cars in here. All right, so let's go upstairs. And then after upstairs, I promise I'll show you the backyard as well. So coming back around here, let's head up. Now you have 2 additional bedrooms up here, a shared bath, but my favorite feature by far is this massive bonus room. This is great. I mean, sky's the limit, right? This could be definitely a theater room. This could be a great playroom for kids. This can be an additional living room. Okay, so this is something that has become more and more common, especially with the new construction. Downstairs, you have a living room. That could be your more formal area. If you have kids and you don't want them to make a mess and you want it to be a little bit more, like I said, formal in that living area downstairs, that's fine. Then this becomes your family room. This is a big room. You can get 2 couches. You can get a huge sectional. You want the kids to have their space where they can make a mess and not make things messy downstairs, then I think that this is what this room is for. This is a big family room. But again, playroom, media room, massive bonus room. Definitely one of my favorite features of this floor plan. Coming out of the bonus room, you have 2 bedrooms and a shared bath. These 2 bedrooms are a good size. You have walk-in closet. One thing I wanted to point out, you'll see a lot in the new construction, is sometimes they'll put these lights in, and then over here you have 2 switches. So it's most likely wired for a ceiling fan. You would just have to put one in. If it's not wired for a ceiling fan, the reason there are 2 switches is because one of these outlets might be programmed with one of those switches. So if you wanted to plug in a lamp or something. But my guess is that this is wired for a ceiling fan. You would just obviously want to double check that, but that's probably why there are 2 switches. Nice size walk-in closet. And again, these are nice sized bedrooms up here. They're not small by any means. This would be a great floor plan. If you had 2 kids, they each have a big bedroom and they have access to that huge bonus room right off of the bedrooms. Super convenient. Here's another walk-in closet. I love that they did that and they didn't put in those smaller ones. There are those 2 switches on the wall again. So I'm leaning towards ceiling fans are probably wired for this room. You just have to put them in. You do have a nice linen closet across from these 2 bedrooms. And then to my left is that big shared bath for these 2 bedrooms. Shower tub combo. Good size vanity. There's that gray again for the cabinet color. In this little loft area, maybe put a little table here. And then of course this is your laundry room. Good size, good space. You got the door so you can close it so you don't have to listen to the machines. And that rounds out the upstairs. Let's go downstairs, let's check out the backyard. And then we'll go from there. Yeah, I really like this floor plan. This is unique, this is different. Again, I think that if you have like 2 kids, upstairs is fantastic. They essentially have their own space up there while you have your primary down here. You have your more formal living area here while the kids are up there. All right. This backyard, in my opinion, is a good sized backyard. You know, when you talk about developments, new construction, and what you get for the backyard, I've talked about this in my other videos. It's really important to pay attention to the yards because these builders don't always necessarily take the yards into consideration when they're building these houses. But this is a good one. It's a good size. Check out the grading here, right? So the water's going to come down. That's the idea at least. And then it goes and heads that way to that side of the yard and hopefully away from your house. So that's always something you want to pay attention to is the grading of the yard around here. This home is on a slab. The yard's already fully fenced in. They have a trampoline back here. They have a play set off here on the side yard. That retaining wall really helps flatten this out, which is nice. But again, you have a trampoline. It's just a nice shape of a yard. Usable space. Sometimes these yards aren't usable the way that the builders have them. So just really, like I said, a really important thing to keep in mind. Good sized side yard here. It's good space. And then now, of course, you have this big patio. This is a detached structure they have. You could take it, you could leave it. Maybe the sellers are going to take it. But why I'm pointing this out is you have a good sized patio space here for your grill. Maybe eventually you want to build on a screened-in porch. You could always do that as long as it's good with the HOA. I don't see why it would be a problem in this neighborhood. But you'd want to check, of course. But yeah, big patio here as well for your grill and your smoker. If you want my help either buying or selling a home in the area, all you have to do is send me a message. All my contact information is in the description of this video, and thanks for watching.